What's going on, One Piece fans? It's your boy Sogekami here. We're talking about One Piece, chapter 1077. Let's go. Finally, after that 1 week break, we're finally back at it. The chapter is called We Should Have Put It Together Sooner. And start off the cover page. Basically, the flashback with Judge and Caesar is over. And I guess the title kind of like meshes in with the flashback. I feel like we've had that a couple times over the past couple of weeks. But now it's you should have put it together, and then the basically the title for this storyline, which is Germa 66 Cold-Blooded Voyage Volume 32, is wait a second, it's all Vegapunk's fault. And then at the end you can put should have put it together sooner, you know, like because they had that entire flashback. They spent years feuding with each other, and then they realized that they could have been working on the same side. So it's kind of like foreshadowing that they're going to be a team. The chapter starts off with Sentomaru basically telling the citizens of Egghead that they're about to get wiped out clean the same way Ohara did. Kind of gives us just like that intention, showing that Egghead's about to get cleaned up. So Sentomaru is kind of preparing for the people, and then he looks up and then he says Straw Hat, what's going on up there? Like, what's taking so long? You guys need to get out of here. Then we get to like the fighting scenes. It shows us each Straw Hat, how they're kind of individually handling the Seraphim. So we see S Bear and S Hawk versus like the Luffy team. Zoro reveals in the funny manner that, oh yeah, I fought King. He like had similar powers and everyone. And then you could have also seen like you should have put it together sooner here too. So you can kind of see that like, oh, how did Zoro not realize that these guys are Lunarians and how to fight them the same way that you're fighting King? King and these guys look the exact same. White hair, dark skin, flame on the back, wings. So, like, come on. And then, so that was kind of, like, super funny. We got some really cool attacks, like the Kong organ and the handgun, Yellow Lotus, like, mixed together to get S-Bear. That was a pretty cool attack. I really liked Kaku's onslaught and the one sword style. Oh, I love Lethal Lion song by Zoro. That's like one of my favorite attacks because he just like the one sword style. Like, yeah, it was sick. That's like the animation you see behind me. A lot of cool panels. I think S Hawk is one of my favorite looking characters in the story. Just like design wise, we don't get a lot of Darkseid characters. Just like really cool. Mihawk has like a kid basically, and he just has that like swagger to him with the shirt all open and everything. Like S-Hawk is crazy cool. Going on later into the chapter, we see Nami versus S-Shark. She seems like she landed a pretty decently strong attack on S-Shark, but he basically like shrugs it off with the swim fruit and goes to attack Nami from behind. We get a really interesting, so we know in the last chapter we got to hear Nami scream, and then so I guess that enacted a reaction in Sanji and made Sanji really upset. This anger caused Sanji to like tap back into his android powers, and you see in this chapter that Sanji's eyebrow actually shifted the same way that it shifted in the Queen chapter. So, or like in Sanji's fight against Queen, I mean. And I feel like that might be something that plays into the future. Maybe Sanji learns how to control it. I'm not exactly sure what the deal would be, but that's definitely interesting. Now that some other characters are going to see Sanji go to the like, next level. And I feel like this could be playing into something we see in the future with like Nami being like, Sanji, that's just a kid. You can't treat him like that. But Sanji being like, yo, I'm going to destroy this kid. Like Sanji looks like really intense about like this fight. So, and then lastly, we also got to see the Usopp, Frankie, and Lilith versus S Snake, and like this was kind of disappointing to me. Usopp did nothing in this fight. Lilith and Usopp were getting along really well, and then with the bubble that came up with like some type of way to fight against Devil Fruit users. So I think that is very interesting. Frankie just slams that bubble onto S Snake, and I didn't really understand how she could get up from that attack. Didn't make sense because he like slammed it on her, and then I don't know if the implication is that she was like he moved it off of her and then she attacked him back, or then but in the end it seems like Lilith and Usopp were both frozen or both turned to stone, and Frankie was only half turned to stone. So I don't know if Frankie's going to be continuing this fight on his own or what the deal is there, but Usopp had a poor showing. Lilith had a poor showing, and Frankie had a poor. I don't think that these characters are able to contend with a character like S Snake. Maybe it will be Robin who will be able to fight her, or I don't know what's going on, but S-Snake seems to be the only one who's like in a powerful position right now in her fights. I would say that the Luffy and S-Bear, S-Hawk, and Zoro fight is like probably a little even right now, but they actually know how to fight these Seraphim. And so like, yeah, and for some reason, Zeus himself was able to deal what looked like considerable damage to S-Shark. So that's interesting too. I wonder if we can get like a Nami Sanji team up, or like what Sanji's gonna be like. That is a very interesting fight. All these fights seem to be very interesting because we don't really know what to make of it. Moving forward, the chapter ends with Shaka going into the basement. He basically has like some type of recollection, like, oh, you know, I think I know where Vegapunk could be. And he goes into the basement to look for Vegapunk. He notices the CP0 agents, and then when Vegapunk asks him who he came down here with, he gets shot in the head mysteriously. My main questions would be, what about that situation caused him to think, oh, like, this could be where Vegapunk is? Could it be that they didn't have cameras down here, so this could be a potential option? Like, it just, speculating on this stuff seems to be really hard right now because we don't really know what could have gone through these characters' heads to make them start thinking the things that they're thinking. And it just seems like a huge mystery that I just want to get to the end of. I'm not really in the business of speculating who the traitor could be. I think that it could be a different Seraphim. I think it has to be someone who uses a gun, because that's what we saw. If it was like an attack, we'd get an attack, and then we got to see that click, the click click sound effect again too. So I'm just interested in seeing who it is. I'm not really too keen on trying to figure it out. Could it be S Flamingo? Could it be a different Seraphim? Could it be the Gorosei? I guess we'll just have to wait and see. But otherwise, I think this was like one of those chapters that was just felt really quick to read. I really wanted to see something from Shanks since we got him in the last chapter. I am noticing that we are seeing a lot of like the downfalls of the newly appointed 3 billion berry bounties men. You know, Law's fighting Blackbeard, it's not looking so good. Kid is gonna fight Shanks, it's not looking so good. And then the Straw Hats are fighting, you know, the Seraphim, and right now it's not looking too great. You know, the Gorosei's on the way with like the Admiral. So like all of these new factions and like the new up and comers are like fighting against the world now, and they're really getting into like the thick of it, and it's really not looking great for them. So I'm loving to see the adversity. You know, with like the main squad, I'm still not really feeling like Luffy is gonna lose. I don't feel like Sanji will lose. We're a little worried about the Frankie situation, and you know, with Kid and Law, you know, I feel like those situations are really bad. But I would love to see someone show up, like maybe Kizaru show up and like really give Luffy a run for his money. Done off Rob Lucci. I don't know what's gonna happen with him, but I hope he gets done off or something along that matters. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this chapter 1077, a really good setup chapter. And you know, I want to see something with Usopp in the future. I don't know how he's gonna get out of that stone, but you know, obviously he can't just be destroyed that way. So you know, I would like to see it. Thank you very much, and enjoy. I'll see you guys next week.